Okay, I like what we see here. Now, I do want to add some creativity where I want you to create something yourself for the background and just making some changes to that area. I also think I like the text, but I think Fred needs to stand out by itself. So it just says food. When we read it, we see food Fred, and we're like, what? That doesn't make sense. So what I suggest doing is coming up here where flippin is, and I guess they're no longer text, which is fine. But I probably would suggest putting that on. Let me just cut this out now. Since it's not a text layer, I can't cut and paste. Do a simple cut and paste. So I'm going to create a layer. I gotta go to Food Fred first. Yeah, cut. Okay. Oops. And then yeah, let me just hide that. A lot of times, it makes it just easier to. Because I think you want to put flippin' food up there. Now, what that means is you're going to move, you might have to scale this a little bit to make it smaller. Probably a little bit even smaller than that, so you have some space in between the words. Um, and then what that does is it brings Fred down here. You can make it larger so it stands out. Something like that would be a little bit better. Now, since the image you have there for layer one, what you might want to do is create like a little floor that he's standing on. So what I want to do is I want to duplicate layer one. Okay, I'm going to go up to Edit Free Transform. I'm going to resize it down. It's going to be an interesting pattern. I might bring it over so it's a little bit different. Might not work. Might not work because of the way the pattern is. Okay. Actually, kind of almost works because of that shadow in the back. Let's do an Edit Transform Perspective. We're going to take this bottom corner and bring it out so we can create the perspective. Okay. Doing something like that. I mean, and usually what I tell people to do now is add a little shading at the top, but because the image already has darkness, it creates that aspect of the floor. So it might be too much of the pattern that you have there. Okay, so maybe you do something a little bit different. You can create some different interesting things in Photoshop. There's some ways you can create some wood. We can select this. I'll do a control, click on the thumbnail. Maybe we go up to the filter, kind of pixelate it a little bit. Let's see, let's do a little Gaussian. Well, let's do a motion blur. You know, stuff like that. So again, I want to make it your own. So I want you to experiment with that aspect of it. But I definitely think flipping food, Fred should stand out because that's the official